Welcome to the BS Roll at Night, where we talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
At nights.
Where we talk about Dungeons and Dragons and stuff.
Right.
We're talking about 3E.
0.5.
0.5. Tricked ya.
Hey. I almost forgot what we're talking about.
Is all of your research for nothing now?
Yes. No. No. I do have the changes for 3.5E.
Just add a half to everything that you say. Be like, oh yeah, well, the dragon has an extra half wing.
0.5 of a wing.
Yeah, 0.5 of a wing.
Everything's just 0.5. Cleric 0.5.
Yep.
I don't know what that means.
We're off to a good start here, everybody.
I'll start with I wasn't going to do this, but I just clicked on the article again, and it makes me laugh every time I see it because it's the dumbest article I've ever seen.
I love dumb articles.
It's actually just an article with Ryan's face on it.
Oh.
Dumb guy.
Dumb guy. I'm going to call this person out, too, because this is such a dumbass article. The title is Dungeons and Dragons 6 Stains from First Edition That Are Still Around. It was published November 7th, 2023 by Amy Cowley.
Yeah, Amy Cowley. You better watch it.
Literally like a week ago.
Okay.
So 6 Stains from First Edition That Are Still Around. Do you have any idea what these are?
Players, dice,
You're not wrong.
Dragons.
paper,
Dungeons.
gold, Dungeons and Dragons. There's my 6.
Okay. So number 6, Gathering a Party.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got that.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
All right, hold on. Let me write these down so I can remember for next time.
What she starts out this article with, the most obvious rule of D&D is always more fun with friends.
I play D&D by myself.
I mean, I do too, actually. I sometimes will roll out Bard AI, and I'll start doing some weird, like, choose your own adventure, and it gets real creepy, but it's always positive because it's like, oh, you fight the dragon, you and the dragon fight for a while, and then you beat it and you get the gold. And I'm like, all right, cool. I can't lose.
Hashtag winning.
I have won every D&D game I've played with AI, so AI, you better watch yourself.
Heck yeah. So number 6, Gathering a Party. Take a stab at what number 5 would be.
Getting a DM.
Dungeon Masters.
Okay, Dungeon Masters, check.
Dungeon Masters, commonly referred to as DMs, are the ones who are tasked with running the game.
Also known as GMs, sometimes Game Masters.
True.
Game Master. Yep.
My wife hates when I say that Tim
The
is
Game
the dungeon master. She's like,
Oh.
this is creepy, and I'm like, the guy who runs our game in the dungeon, like our dungeon master.
That could be the Basement Master.
Yeah, the BM, but that's BM's bowel movement.
Uh-huh.
You are the BM.
That's true. So the fourth thing.
Wait, you just
campaign.
So 6.
wait. Hold on, you just went. So, fourth thing. Sorry, I am counting from 1 up. You are going from 6 down. I'll shut up now.
So 6 is Gathering a Party. 5 is Dungeon Masters. What do you think the next thing would be?
Getting a dungeon.
No.
Rolling a character.
Yes.
Okay.
Character creation.
Okay, I'm learning.
All
You're
right.
learning.
Also, I went 6, 4, 5, and I was like, wait a second. You really threw me off with this counting down.
Phil is struggling
shit.
tonight.
Yeah, it's all right.
3 is a little bit of a curveball.
Bad guy.
A setting.
Close.
A tavern.
A hook point.
You're close with setting. It's called Swords and Sorcery, so it's fantasy.
Ah, yes, we
All-
need fantasy.
All Dungeons and Dragons are fantasy from 1E on.
That's, I mean, yes and no. Yes and no.
You know, I mean, sure.
You also don't need fantasy, though. You could also make it based off of, like, well, I know this is fantasy, but it's already created source material is Forrest Gump. But it's based on real events.
I mean, that's where what is your term of, or how do you define fantasy? Like a sci-fi?
Well, yeah, no, I'm saying, like, if it's, like,
Fantasy.
non-fiction versus fiction. So I would say
That's true.
typically fiction, but, like, you could totally, like, we're gonna make this based off of like, you know,
Well,
9/11, our favorite holiday.
well, even taking that and
Roll for 9/11. Now
Yeah.
that. All right, this is the last one clearly.
well, 1E, we talked about how they did like D-Day.
Yeah.
Yep.
That isn't fantasy.
Correct.
So, all right.
Wow, that was the most in sync thing that Nick and I have ever done.
So
Yeah.
the number 2,
Bye.
magic items.
Cool.
Okay.
Yep. And the number 1, anyone want to take a stab?
Gold,
Goals.
treasure,
Completing a quest.
victory.
Uh,
The final solution?
combat.
Combat. Oh, okay.
I was about to say the final countdown.
Final countdown.
All right, so I'm just going to run this back. So first thing I need to find is a party.
Uh-huh.
Then I need to find a DM or a BM.
Mm-hmm.
I need a character to be created. I need some fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
magic items, and some combat.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so you said fantasy, and my brain immediately went to porn, and then you said combat, but in my brain,
Which
it sounded
also
like you
went to porn.
in my brain, I heard combat.
Ooh, combat.
Ooh, some creepy Batman porn.
So those are the 6 things from first edition that are still around.
Cool.
The most basic ass shit.
So the premise of the game.
Yeah, the premise of the game is still around.
But I bet that article has more reads than our podcast has had listeners
Probably.
during this.
Hey, don't
Session on history.
you talk down about our podcast?
Well, what if she has 20,000 views and we only have 19,999 listens? I didn't specify how many. I'm just saying maybe they've got more.
We're better than she is.
All right.
Just remember that.
What was her name? Amy Crowley.
Cowley.
Yeah, you better watch it, Amy Crowley.
Yeah,
and if
Butcher's
you're
coming.
and you better listen if you're listening to our podcast at least 19,997 times.
I just found this article amusing. Like, so the premise of Dungeons and Dragons is still around. Who would have thought?
Right.
Who would have thought?
I mean, usually, like, operating systems, things of that sort, right? You make your basic, and then you make things better. But the basic is still the root of the whole thing, which would make sense why first edition, the root of it, would still be around.
Yeah.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
I would have thought, like, the article would have been like, here's some spells, or here's some enemies that are still around for, hundreds of years
Right.
that Dungeons and Dragons have been around. But no.
Yeah, you don't even have magic users anymore. Gosh.
All right, I'm gonna just throw this into Bard right now.
Okay.
Create a D&D campaign with a party, dungeon master, characters, fantasy, magic items, and combat. And we're gonna go ahead and see what Bard comes up with here.
Okay, I'm excited.
Sometimes it's a letdown. It's really thinking right now.
This is good.
Oh, here we go. Campaign title: The Lost Kingdom of Ebonheart.
Use your DM voice.
The Lost Kingdom of Ebonheart. Genre: fantasy, adventure, mystery.
Ooh.
Dungeon master is Bard, the AI storyteller.
Ooh.
The party is Ayla, the elven ranger, a skilled archer and tracker. This is actually pretty good. Balin, the dwarven paladin, a devout follower of the Stone Father. Cal, Cael, the human wizard, a prodigy of the arcane arts.
Does he
Master,
use wizard's fire?
he uses wizards.
Wizards.
Wizard's fire.
Wizard's
He's
fire.
also a bit of a bookworm, losing himself in the ancient tomes and scrolls. Seraphina, the halfling bard, a charismatic and talented performer, able to
She's a
inspire her allies with her songs and stories, or thongs and stories.
Ooh.
She is also a skilled healer and diplomat. And then the setting is the once proud kingdom of Ebonheart has been lost to the mist of time, its ruins hidden deep within the treacherous Whispering Woods. Legends say that Ebonheart was a land of great magic and power, ruled by a benevolent king and queen. However, a a terrible
A
curse
terrible.
has fell upon the kingdom, transforming its people into monstrous creatures and plunging the land into eternal darkness. That's actually kind of incredible for just throwing those 6 things. So, you know what? She's actually not kind of wrong. Because the fantasy elements, it's set in a world filled with magic and wonder, where dragons soar through the skies, elves dwell in enchanted forest, dwarves forge powerful weapons and armor, and the party will encounter a variety of fantastical creatures, from mischievous pixies to fearsome trolls.
Ooh.
Magic items. The party will discover a variety of magical items throughout their adventure, each with its own unique powers. It doesn't really say what they are, which is kind of sad, but it does say that it will
One
help.
of them is the stick of snakes.
I hope. It'll help them overcome the challenges they face and bring them closer to their goal of lifting the curse of Ebonheart. Combat. The party will engage in a variety of combat encounters, from battling small groups of goblins to facing off against powerful dragons. Well, that's a spoiler. We're going to play Dungeons & Dragons and we're going to fight some dragons? Come on.
Who does that? What kind of a DM would put dragons in their campaign?
Ooh.
For real.
Are you ready for the plot hooks?
Sure.
Hook
This
me,
really
baby.
took like a turn that I was not expecting. The party is approached by a mysterious stranger who tells them of the lost kingdom of Ebonheart and the curse that has plagued it. He offers them a reward if they can uncover the secrets of the kingdom and lift the curse. I mean, I don't think that's really a plot hook, because that's basically what it starts off as.
Yeah, that's like the main quest, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the party is exploring the Whispering Woods when they stumble upon ruins of Ebonheart. They are drawn to the ruins by a strange and powerful aura. Then they soon discover that the kingdom is not as abandoned as it seems. The party is captured by a group of goblins who have made their homes in the ruins of Ebonheart.
Not goblins.
The Gerblins are planning to use the kingdom's lost treasures to raise an army of undead warriors. The party must escape from the goblins.
Wait. The Gorblins are trying to raise funds for the undead armies?
Yeah.
Is that the plot hook?
Yeah.
Okay.
War profiteering, baby. This is like the theme of our night.
Yeah.
So goblins are like, you know what we need? An
Capitalism.
Capitalism, undead army. You know, we need to do some fundraising, get this money.
It's like a carriage wash. Got all these goblins in bikinis. They're like, all right, come to our carriage wash. Trying to raise funds for this undead army.
What a weird plot hook.
And
Also,
then-
give us your canned food.
oh, their plastic bags were the ones hanging on my doorknob. Sorry, ye old doorknobs. Possible endings. The party successfully lifts the curse of Ebonheart and restores the kingdom to its former glory.
Yay.
They are hailed as heroes and rewarded by the grateful king and queen. The party discovers that the curse of Ebonheart is not what it seems. They must confront the true source of the curse and make a difficult decision about its fate. The party falls victim to the curse of Ebonheart themselves, becoming twisted and corrupted by the evil that has taken hold of the kingdom.
What is the curse?
They must find a way to break the curse before it consumes them entirely. It turns them into monstrous creatures.
Like gerblins.
So how do the goblins figure into this plot hook?
That you just run into them.
They were creating an undead army, but there's a curse upon the empire.
Yeah, you know, like, have you ever worked somewhere where it's like a bad working environment? Doesn't really have anything to do. It's just you just work in like a shithole.
Yeah.
And
It's like
so,
working in Walmart.
that exactly. It's like you just have a bad landlord. So that's all it is. It's like the goblins are just running their own undead army business, but they signed a lease in this kingdom for
That
a really good.
just happened to be cursed.
They're locked into this lease and they can't get out of it because they're not lawyers. They're war profiteers. Have you not listened to anything I've said over the last 10 minutes?
Who are fundraising.
Who are
for
fundraising
for their undead army while under some kind
What's
of a
the
curse.
undead army's name?
Doesn't have that. I mean, it doesn't have everything. But I'm not gonna lie though, that was actually pretty good for the little amount. Like you could just explore. I just gave it the 6 things that you need. So Amy was right.
Yeah.
All you actually started 7 things, and you need AI. There's also other drafts, so we can go on. There's the campaign of the lost city of Eloria, campaign the rise of the Obsidian Lord, which that actually sounds pretty fucking dope.
We're supposed to talk about 3E, 3.5E.
Oh, sorry. Do you want me to ask for it to do that,
Yeah.
but in 3E? All right. Well, you two talk. I'm going to be over here talking to my AI overlords.
Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. Oh goodness. So 3.5.
Yeah.
Stuff changed.
Yep.
What changed?
Well, I mean, from everything that I can see between third edition and 3.5, I've got like a big old list of stuff.
I do too.
But the main purpose of it was to try and make everything pretty level and base across the board. So some stuff I saw was like druid animal companions advances the druid levels up, now making the druid more playable. They're given more access to spells and things than before. So I guess
I feel like we all three may have found the exact same list.
maybe.
Yeah.
I'm sure they all touched on similar stuff, but I guess, third edition to 3.5, the druid maybe was too underpowered. What are some other ones?
So I have I broke mine down by class changes, skills,
Feats,
and
spells.
yeah, I always got them feats on there.
Yep.
But
Whether
basically
spells removed, spells added, and then
Yeah.
spells that just had a name change.
yeah. So I mean class changes. So bards got more skill points and spells. The clerics were now allowed to spontaneously cast mass cure wounds or mass inflict wounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, the druids, the companions level up with them. Fighters got more feats. Hell yeah.
Well, and it says the feat descriptions also changed, I guess, to make it more flow into the campaign.
The monk's flurry of blows changed to have different advancements. Paladins can summon their mounts instead of their mounts just following them around all the time, just being ever present. So you could just be like, "Hi ho, Silver," and then your old donkey just.
They could also smite evil more times in a day.
Yeah. So, Rangers got a hit die increase and skill points. There were changes to their favorite enemy and their companions, which made it more playable. Because I know there was a lot of stuff changes, animal empathy was another thing that they just removed, and they added it to a class ability for Rangers instead of having to be all right, is this animal empathetic? Am I gonna roll for its empathy? So that was something that was different. Sorcerers could make small revisions to spells during their level ups, but they were still a level underneath wizards. And then wizards had changes to their spell specializations. And then
familiar bonus stats.
Yeah, their familiars got different bonus stats. So based on what type of familiar, you could do certain things. A bat would have better location, not based on sight and things like that. So
you mean perceiving using hearing?
Yes, that's a thing. Not using sight or perceiving via hearing. Echolocation.
Hey.
How dare you? And then skill. Alchemy got rolled into crafting for you Minecraft enthusiasts that listen to the podcast. Innuendo got rolled into bluff. Intuit direction rolled into survival. So instead of having the skill to be oh, I know what direction. Instead, it's roll survival for multiple different things. Can you get over this hole, or do you know where to go? Performance skills were added. Read lips were rolled into the spot skill, which then kind of became more of a perception check in later editions. Pickpocket changed to sleight of hand, which sleight of hand's that's something that we still use today.
Yep.
And then, me and my feet changes. Ambidexterity and 2 weapon fighting were rolled into the same thing, which also let weapon finesse classify weapons in groups instead of each individual weapon having its own, specific things. So like you had your martial weapons, you had your finesse weapons, you had your heavy weapons. So just different types there. And so instead of being like
Show
the
you
mace
my
can
heavy
do
weapon.
the mace can do this, the warhammer can do this, the saber can do this. It was like, all right, if you're this kind of weapon, these are the bonuses you have. We're not going to break down every single thing.
Right.
So, yeah.
They added a shit ton of new spells.
Hell
Yes.
yeah.
We're not going to read all of them, but they're there. There's a lot of spells. They also removed or changed a lot of spells too, but not as much. So like, what was it? Emotion became hate, or hate became emotion. Negative energy projection became death ward. Polymorph over other became baleful polymorph.
Mm-hmm.
Polymorph self became polymorph. So just kind of little tweaks like that. Some of the spells had their names changed. Change self is disguise. Charm person or animal. Charm animal. Which is interesting. They dropped the charm person.
Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck 'em.
Yeah.
Circle of doom. Inflict light wounds.
Which then in turn just became inflict wounds later on.
Circle of Doom is actually just the nickname for my toilet.
I want to bring Circle of Doom back.
Just come over to my house
Okay.
anytime. Bring a candle.
Endurance became bear's endurance. Enlarge became a large person.
I feel like you looked right at me when you said large person.
Healing circle became cure white wounds, not the dark wounds, but the white ones.
Okay. Are you now? I can't tell. Are you saying light or are you saying white?
I
light.
said white, but
Well,
I
he
meant,
meant
light.
light.
Okay, just needed to clarify because the holy light is always right.
Yes. So it changed some things like that.
I like random action became confusion lesser. I cast random action. What?
I'm confused. Hey, that's a good name.
So I did have it craft us a 3.5 edition campaign. I'm not going to go through it because it basically is like a similar to it. But this time it actually gave us magical items, which was kind of cool.
Ooh, like listed them?
Yeah.
Nice.
So we've got Ella's longbow, a relic of the elven rangers of Aldergoth, imbued with the power to guide arrows with unerring accuracy. So like basically a can't miss arrow. So just like
It's like
makes-
shooting magic missiles.
it makes you think
but
of
with
like
an arrow.
Hawkeye and like Avengers where he's like not looking, he's just like pulling and shooting and then just
Well,
like
retirement didn't treat you?
yeah.
Shot 18, hit 18.
Yeah. Or like Legolas.
Right.
Oh wait, sorry. If you're listening, Lord of the Rings people, we did not say Legolas. We said Lego-less.
Yeah,
Which
Lego
means
lass.
play with the Lego lass, the girl that plays Lego.
Yeah.
Um.
With a lasso.
Then you've got Kale's dwarven axe, crafted from the heart of a mountain.
Ooh.
This axe is as heavy as it is sharp, carrying the strength and resilience of its dwarven creators. So I guess you would just roll in like some sort of like dwarf stats, maybe like a sweet beard when you wield it.
Hell yeah.
Lyra's shadow cloak, a cloak woven from the threads of shadows, granting its wearer the ability to blend into the darkness and move unseen. And then Morin's Staff of Whispers, an ancient staff said to channel the voices of the spirits that linger in the ruins, granting its wielder insights into the city's secrets.
Ooh.
So I don't know. That was actually kind of cool. So
Nice.
Teleport without air became teleport greater.
Yep.
So stuff like that. Damage reduction changes. Damage reductions will change to allow many different types of things to bypass that damage reduction. Special materials such as silver, adamantium, cold iron, weapon types such as slashing, piercing, bludgeoning, alignments such as good, evil, lawful, and chaotic. Magic and epic were also added to indicate physical damage reduction and epic damage reduction. And so it just seemed like it kind of streamlined things for the most part.
Yep. Fix any little bugs in the system, you know.
you're just telling me it was a patch?
Yep.
Ah, nice.
Pretty much. I mean,
Now, did it take down all the servers, or was it like a hot fix that it just like rolled out?
I think it was just a hot fix.
Okay, cool. Because it would suck if you're like mid campaign. You're like, oh no, you gotta redo this.
No, there's scheduled maintenance at this
Oh.
time we're trying to play, guys.
It did come out in 2003.
Yes.
Yep.
So it was only a few years later, which did piss some people off, but it was something small enough that you could continue just playing with 3rd edition, and it's not really gonna.
Well, it also was like a lot of things. Like when they rolled out 3rd edition in 2000, Wizards of the Coast was like, no, take those things out of there. Like mass combat wasn't part of it, and so that was something that they also introduced with 3.5. They rolled that into it.
I'm gonna roll you into it.
That's perfectly fine. Do it.
One of the things that I saw in the book Art and Arcana,
Never heard of it.
which we've been kind of referencing on and off, was
Since when?
Since we started.
Oh, okay.
Mentions games like Neverwinter Nights, Ultimate. What is the name of that?
Frisbee.
Yes. I can't think of the name right now. Ultima.
Oh, Nissan.
Yes. You guys know what I'm talking about. The RPG game.
Yes, but my brain's freezing.
Oh,
Now.
Call of Duty with the RPGs.
I hate both of you.
I mean, Nick's doing nothing. Nick is just laughing at my stupidity, so don't blame him.
It encourages you.
The cowardly dog. I could do this all night.
I hate
Just
both of
word associations.
you. It's a game that starts with a U, and everyone's probably played it.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes.
It starts with a Y.
No, but Yu-Gi-Oh. Why are you always getting in my face? Oh, man. All right. Bye. No, I'm just kidding. We're still here. I'm on one. It's been a long week and a half, 2 weeks.
Why can't I think?
I've gone so far from originally what you were talking about that I'm lost. While they're looking that up on the interwebs, let's talk about equipment. Now listed in small and medium-sized versions for use by small and medium-sized characters. Largest effect so basically there were equipment changes. Largest effects were like the short sword and small long sword, which meant that small characters will usually do 1 die size less damage. So they let different classes and races use different size weapons based on their strength. In 3.0, only medium-sized weapons were listed, and a gnome rogue could use the medium short sword. In 3.5, your gnome could only use a small long sword and get 1d6 damage, which requires a martial weapon proficiency. So just kind of changing the size of the weapons that people can use based on the size. The size matters.
Size matters.
Did you figure out the game that you're looking for?
Yeah. Ultima? ULTIMA?
I mean, that is Ultima, not the Nissan.
Ultima and Wizardry.
Yeah. So that was a video game that came out in the early 2000s. That was heavily based off of D&D, kind of like Neverwinter Nights. Then you also have Knights of the Old Republic, which is also 3E based.
Yep.
And the big one that everyone's probably played is World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Which was based off of 3.5.
It also talks like Diablo, similar.
Similar, yeah.
And the Ultima and Wizardry, which kind of served as a blueprint for Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't the original Baldur's Gate come out around this time too, though, or did it come out in 3rd edition?
That came out, I think, in 2nd edition. That's an old,
that was
game.
older. The original one, yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking
They
Baldur's
did have
Gate 2.
newer Baldur's Gate that came out. I mean, they've had so many of them too.
Well, there's only 3 of them.
Prove it.
They had, because they've got...
Because you're thinking of Neverwinter Nights, which is kind of a spinoff.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the first Baldur's Gate game. When did it come out? Stalling 1998.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
And I want to say Baldur's Gate 2 came out probably 2000-ish. Neverwinter Nights would have been 3E.
but it is actually kind of funny if you look at. Oh yeah, so Baldur's Gate 2 came out 2001. But it's actually funny if you look at it. You've got Baldur's Gate 2, you've got Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, Baldur's Gate Enhanced. So you get to Enhanced Second Edition, like Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced. It's like, oh no, they they fell down the same rabbit hole that Dungeons and Dragons did.
Well,
How dare they?
in Art and Arcana, it mentions 3.5, and they talk about how they introduced the 0.5 because of what computer systems were doing and the boom of technology. That's why they added the 0.5 to the system.
Okay, interesting. So they're like, oh, if the computers are doing it, we have to too. Okay.
Exactly.
And it made a big point about World of
Oh,
Warcraft.
it actually made 0.5.
Yeah, made 0.5 of a point where Wizards of the Coast was going wild because World of Warcraft had like 12 million subscribers, and they estimated maybe like 1 million people were playing Dungeons and Dragons. And the comment in Art of Arcana was there's 12 million people that are playing Dungeons and Dragons, and they don't even know it because they're playing World of Warcraft. Which is just an interesting take that you probably played D&D at some point in your life with a video game, not even realizing it was D&D.
Nick, did you ever play World of Warcraft?
Yes, I did.
Tim, did you ever play World of Warcraft?
No.
Speaking of which,
Me neither. So that's only 33% of us. played it.
My buddy Mike asked about what the name of our podcast was last night, and I was like, "Oh yeah, BS Roll." He's like, "All right, cool. So we might start listening." So Mike, when you get here, we should re-roll in WoW. Just saying.
But I played Knights of the Old Republic or like Dragon Age, which is a similar system.
Yeah.
I mean, Knights of the Old Republic, I mean, it actually used your wisdom, your fortitude, and your reflex as actual saving throws for stuff. So it was very, very heavily based off of 3.5.
Yes.
Or even third edition, 3/3.5. But yeah.
Right.
Another one is the Elder Scroll games. It's another one that's very much D&D-esque.
Yep. Absolutely.
Never heard of it.
Even
No,
with
I'm just
like
kidding.
I didn't play any of the prior ones before Oblivion, but that one, I mean, like you have all your skills that you have that are literally the same skills you'd see in D&D.
Or let's talk about the probably most played ever Elder Scrolls game, Skyrim. Like, absolutely insane.
Yeah. That's based off of D&D.
Foo.
Gross.
Da?
Close. What if all of a sudden you did that and both Nick and I just shot across the room? He's Dragonborn.
Yeah, I am. What of it?
The real question is I'm assuming both of you have played Skyrim, yes?
Yeah, of course.
Never.
Really? Okay,
I
that's
haven't
cool.
played it.
Did you ever play any of the mods?
Oh, yeah.
I played on the Xbox, so I didn't really.
Oh,
have
what
any
a
mods.
loser! What was your favorite mod?
You like to throw people in the air.
Yes. I don't know. I had several of them. I had like realistic combat mods. I had a lot of immersion mods. So like changes the scenery, made it look more lively. People did more things.
So that's how you know Tim and I are fundamentally different people, because my two favorite ones were the Macho Man Randy Savage mod
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
Thomas the Train, when the train just goes toot toot and then starts breathing fire. Like, that lives rent free in my mind. And when I was working for a company at that time, we had desk decorating competitions. So my background was that, and I had a little
That's
Thomas the Train set on my desk, and then I had a little,
Nice.
like, what are those Funko Pops, like when they had first started, or I don't know if they were called Pop Caps or whatever, something like that.
When they were cool.
But it was a Nord with the like iconic helmet on it.
nice.
And it was like only like certain people in my office got it. And
That's funny.
yeah, sorry, that was completely off topic, but it made me excited.
Yeah, I went with the whole like the realism mods, made the sky look real and the sound real. Yeah.
Yeah, you're the one who plays Minecraft on fancy shaders, eh?
I like fancy shaders.
I mean, I do too.
I mean, I tried to play Minecraft on the fancy shaders, and it just didn't do it for me.
It is also more difficult to find the right minerals when you have some of those shaders on.
I don't
You're
know.
like,
what
I
is-
can't tell what this is. It all just looks
It's
like
another
rocks and
emerald,
dirt.
damn it.
Yeah.
Welcome to our Minecraft fan cast.
Yeah.
There was one time we played Minecraft. We had like 4 TVs in the living room, and we played until like 4 in the morning. It was awesome.
So
We'll do a fundraiser.
a fundraiser
of
for the
Minecraft.
Undead Army. All right, secretly this podcast is actually ran by the goblins, and we are just their pawns. So now we've gone down this rabbit hole of Minecraft. So when it came out on mobile, like I think when like mobile really like cell phones got smart and like apps like they just pumped into Minecraft came out. And so Ryan and I would play like on like a mobile like local server, like you can basically like a local instance of it.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And one time his mom was like, I want to play. And so his mom hops on, and like you all know Ryan, he is chaos.
Uh-huh.
She's more chaos than he is.
Well, that's
So she
amazing.
was just following me around, like breaking all my shit and just laughing so hard. And I'm just like, man, I was so mad. I look back, I'm like, all right, I'm a grown ass man playing Minecraft on a cell phone. I'm like,
Getting
man,
bullied by
I'm-
someone else's
I'm
mom.
I'm not in the best place in life. And then I'm like, wait, but then my best friend's mom is out here trolling me. I'm like, I feel good about this. So Tiff, if you're listening, I love you and I appreciate every time that you smashed my stuff in Minecraft.
I'm so old. I remember playing Minecraft before it was like released, like when it was in the beta and you opened it up in your browser.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
Yeah.
like just recently was the cutoff to like switch off the Java version.
Mhm.
And I like kept getting emails. You need to do this. You need to do this, and I didn't do it, and so I lost all my stuff. I mean, not that I really had anything, but I'm sure somewhere in the world, I probably have like this sad character just like hanging out on some server by themselves, just like, is he coming back?
Yeah, we would play it off and on.
Yep.
Recently, within the last year or two.
Damn.
Yeah, we had a server and everything.
For a
Well,
little bit.
if you want us to do a Minecraft fan cast where we talk about the best way to mine diamonds and fight the Ender Dragon.
Yep.
I wasn't sure if it was Ender.
I will
It's
say,
Ender
if you
Dragon.
haven't played in a long time, give it a shot because it's completely different.
They've had several updates.
I mean,
Yeah.
all I want is just like blocks. Like, it doesn't have to be smooth or anything like that. I just want to build wild castles and weird contraptions.
Yeah, they just keep adding more and more to it.
More biomes,
Yeah,
more craftability stuff,
that's insane.
More mines.
more mines.
Yeah.
Well, some of the
Less-
mines nowadays are
less
insane.
mines.
So the cave update is massive.
Yep.
Like now it goes to like -100. Yeah. It's bananas,
There's bananas in the
Hey,
caves
hey,
now?
and
Yeah.
Yes.
Sweet.
I think.
And Gwen Stefani.
And glyphs and stuff funny. Yeah, there's not much else to say about 3.5. It was just a minor update that came out in
Yep.
2003. And then Doom happened a couple years later.
Like the game.
Yes.
Or like something bad happened.
Something bad happened with the 4th edition, which we're not going to talk about today, but that will be the rough one because everyone abandoned that edition.
Not everyone. There were a lot of people.
You talking about everyone abandoned 4th edition? Okay, I about to say, I was like, there are people that still rock 3.5. Like,
That's what I mean.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like,
That's what I mean.
yeah.
Well,
No-
so those are the diehards. The true diehard people are like, I'm still playing 3.5, motherfucker. Which, totally cool for you. That's totally fine. It is quite different from today's version. I think they kind of sugarcoated everything for like 5th edition, but like,
Spoilers.
yeah.
Yeah, wait for some undescribed amount of time before we talk about it. Insert time here.
But so then also after 3.5 is when they allowed the open market to create games based off of this, and that's when Pathfinder showed up.
Yeah. the
So
open
Pathfinder
gaming
is very
license.
much like 3.5.
Yeah.
Which Pathfinder was in response to 4th edition.
Yes.
People thought 4th edition was bullshit, so they created Pathfinder.
Yeah, they're like, here, have guns, and you're like, oh no, what?
I looked into Pathfinder, and maybe we'll get into it after 5e. It's bananas. Like, I tried to comprehend it, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. I have maybe we'll see if I can get him to maybe jump on Discord with us or something. But my buddy David, who now lives in South Carolina.
How convenient.
Yeah. But he was a big Pathfinder guy. So when I started up D&D, I hit him up for some older books just to, look into getting some people to play. And he's like, well, Pathfinder's really where it's at nowadays. So he almost got me into Pathfinder. And if he had done that, then we probably all would have gotten into Pathfinder instead of D&D right now.
Probably. And that's how Critical Role started, was they were in Pathfinder, and then when they started the stream, they went to 5e.
Yep.
That's why Percy has guns.
Pew pew. But that basically brought guns into Dungeons and Dragons,
Yes,
which
it
was
did.
rad.
Well, that was already part of 5th edition, like as an option for a DM was you could install guns, but base no, but in the Dungeons Master Guide, it has some minuscule amount of stuff for guns.
Yeah, I think it wasn't necessarily like the fact that like it was there. I think it was more of like, what Matt and what Talos and Jaffe did to it and like made it super like sexy,
Mm-hmm.
and like added like, the critical failures and all that to it. I think that's what really like solidified it. People are like, oh man, I want a gun now. Nick, you got your starts in, was it 3rd edition or a 3.5?
We did. Well, I mean, technically, we started at like 1st or 2nd edition, like the early stuff, and then I think it was 3. I want to say it might have been a little bit in 3rd edition, and then we got into 3.5.
Got the hot.
I
got
for
the
sure
hot
know.
fix, yeah.
Yeah, I for sure know that like we started using 3.5 before we actually stopped playing. So we were into 3.5.
What character did you have? Like, do you remember?
I had a rogue.
That's all. You're just a rogue. There was no details. Like, what did it look like? Did it have any cool weapons?
Honestly, I don't remember.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. I know at one point in time someone cast invisibility, and then I was able to do shit tons of damage because I was invisible as a rogue attacking things. So I did have a little metal miniature that was like a cloaked figure, but like the body itself was invisible. You just see the clothes. I was like, sweet. But then, yeah, I don't remember what.
So wait, the minifigure, it's like the miniature itself was like semi-transparent, or interesting.
Yeah. That's cool.
Maybe he just really didn't have a minifigure, and he's like, "No, guys, it's just invisible.
No, it's invisible.
I paid
I
extra
swear.
for it."
Nick, that's just a leaf. No. He's hiding behind
Yeah.
the leaf.
Can't see him.
Funny.
No, yeah, I don't remember what race I was. I assume probably halfling or elf, but I don't actually remember.
Halflings do have some bonuses to
Yeah.
like rogue stuff. Yes. Anything else about 3.5 that we'd like to mention?
No, I think we kind of derailed when we started talking about Minecraft and Skyrim.
This one wasn't. It wasn't like it was so awe and shocking of
Yeah, I mean,
the
it was
changes.
a half. It was a half. So you get a half episode.
Suckers.
We missed last week because Phil was putting out fires. Literally.
Not literally, no.
Literally.
His grandma.
His
Yeah.
grandma.
R.I.P.
She's been dead for a while, so whoever lit her on fire, you're an asshole. It's been like damn near 20 years.
And because we live in the Midwest and I have allergies, I'm not feeling good. I'm still congested. So I didn't want to record last week with Nick.
So it's always funny.
Plus,
They
it's more
start off
fun with Phil.
They start off blaming me, and then they're like, "Oh no, we can't completely blame Phil." But I mean, it was for sure my fault last week. I'm sorry, everyone,
No,
and Amy.
and Amy. It's my bad too because me and Nick could have recorded.
Yeah.
But we didn't, and that brings us into next week, which is Thanksgiving for us. So we probably won't record next week either.
Yeah.
So we'll see you sometime.
Happy Thanksgiving, I guess.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. This will drop right before Thanksgiving, so
Literally right before Thanksgiving.
So yeah, have fun on your fucking blackout Wednesdays and
I think it's called Skanksgiving.
or Skanksgiving. Yeah,
Hosegiving.
that's the one right before Christmas.
Ooh.
Get a ho ho ho.
Hey, save that. We got weeks before then.
I just know my Thanksgiving is going to be a shit show, so that's exciting already.
Oh, that's true. But yeah, your Skanksgiving and your blackout Wednesdays, Thanksgiving dinner, get nice and fat, go take a nap,
And then buy a bunch of stuff on Friday.
Yeah, your Black Friday.
Now, are you gonna go out and shop on Friday, or are you gonna do
No.
it from the comfort of your own home?
I probably won't even do either.
Yeah,
Well, you just made it sound like you were going to.
No.
unless he sees cool deals on laptops.
Now, when you say cool deals on laptops, are you saying like he's looking at a laptop, looking at cool deals, or he's looking for a cool deal on a laptop while on a not cool laptop?
Yes.
Or he's looking for something that's cool that deals with laptops.
I don't get it. A Mac Mini maybe
Ooh.
for the podcast.
Wow, you hear that, everyone? Upgrades. So you better get your ass down here, and you better get in the basement, and you play D&D with us, because we're going to have a Mac Mini.
Yeah, because we got
maybe.
the basement master over here.
Yeah.
The bowel movement master.
I wish that was
The
me.
BMM.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hopefully you got something out of this episode.
Yeah.
I got to relive some of my childhood and some of my early adulthood. So yeah, I got something. So that's all that matters. This is actually just a therapy session for me.
I got Phil out of this, so.
Yeah.
Ooh. Next time we'll talk about the disastrous fourth edition.
Which is crazy.
I'm excited.
And probably something completely unrelated.
Oh,
'cause I'm
100%.
100%. 100%. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
The BS role is Timothy Farr as our forever DM, Valerie Simone as Ida Gotham, Nick Urban as Snee, Phil J. Cox as Enoch Sunforger, Ryan Freeman as Babylon Wonderhoof. You can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and wherever podcasts can be found. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave us a review. It helps us a lot. We do not advertise, so our ratings and reviews are the best way to help us grow. Thank you so much. Love you a lot. Have a good one.